10a. All the gold in the world, all the gold in the world, not worthy of love, goodness and beauty, all the gold in the world. All the gold in the world, not worth a rose, not worth tears. Alexander Vrataryov, Ukraine. Life is love, and love is life. When love dies, hatred is born, man dies, life dies. My unknown friend. We live as long as we love and are loved. When we are not loved, we die. And this has nothing to do with our demonstrative material luxury, domination over people or unlimited satisfaction of physiological needs, believe me. Agree, my stranger friend, loving yourself is just self-love. It is obvious that happiness should be sought in love and interaction of people in the creation of the beautiful. I'm Mikas. We continue the discussion of the project, Planet Without Borders, previous name, Harmony. Copyright registration certificate number 44902, Ukraine. Draft Constitution of Humanitarian Development, Interactions of the Transition Period. 72. Creation of a global structural network for the provision of scientific support services for development and security. Harmonization of civilizational interactions of development and security. Scientific and expert audit of development and security. Development of optimal technologies for the transition to new civilizational forms of social self-organization based on relevant agreements with territorial communities. 73. Launch of a fund to support the creation and implementation of a new model of people's self-organization, an open civilization of equal opportunities and a system of scientific support for development and security. 74. Launching a fund to support socio-economic and humanitarian programs and projects in the transition period. 75 to 89. Before the creation of identification information and communication networks, development and implementation by international democratic and human rights organizations of a single legislative procedure for democratic elections of local self-government. By analogy in sports, generally accepted single rules, compliance with which ensures the legitimacy of competition results. Creation of an institute of highly professional independent international election commissions for technological support of elections to local self-government bodies on the basis of relevant agreements with territorial communities. By analogy in sports, independent referee teams. Mandatory participation of people, members of territorial communities, in democratic expression of will, support, do not support, undecided position, other choice. Introduction of an open permanent rating of programs of public leaders. Introduction of open direct payment for local self-government services. An investment of own funds in the implementation of socio-economic projects and development and security programs, chosen by members of territorial communities. The legitimacy of the powers of the elected self-government must be confirmed by a constantly valid rating of its support by members of the territorial community. Immediate termination of the powers and material support of the elected self-government in the absence of the support of the majority of the community. Complete rejection of secret voting and the transition to protected identification voting in order to prevent falsifications, manipulation of the expression of will and increase the public responsibility of citizens for their choice. The expression of will is carried out in person in the presence of at least 3 members of the Election Commission on 2 ballots, one of which is issued to the voter with the signatures of the members of the Election Commission present and certified by a seal. Full compensation for the damage caused to the community by people who chose ineffective self-government. A person is the subject of the right to check the taking into account of his expression of will. For the falsification of the popular will, for political corruption, trade in representative powers, on the basis of the decision of the communities, persons whose guilt has been proven by the court, in addition to compensation for the damage caused, are temporarily deprived of the right to participate in the community. Introduction of social guarantees of people's right to alternative choices. Election documentation is kept indefinitely. 90-95. Before creating a global security system, a moratorium is introduced on any changes to interstate borders, except for the free choice and consent of civil societies. Complete and immediate security, economic and political isolation of the aggressor by the international community. Natural resources within the territories recognized by the international community are objects of common property rights of citizens who were born and live in this territory. Investment of socio-economic programs and projects is carried out at the expense of internal investments. The transition to using the services of the global system of scientific support for development and security is carried out with the voluntary consent and free choice of civil societies. Territorial communities cooperate to implement regional, national, global socio-economic and humanitarian projects. My unknown friend. We will talk about the humanitarian catastrophe and the interaction of the transition period in the post-Soviet space in the next video. See you later.